Hello everyone, this is Jurgita and I have a little coffee there peeking from the frame, and today is June 1st, and actually I checked quickly what kind of day, because usually June 1st is like a children's national protection day or something, but turns out there's like a 15 different things, like a Oscar the Grouch day, wear a dress day, Day of the Dinosaurs, like applesauce cake day, and all kinds of things. Flip a coin day. So, if you celebrate any of those days, then I hope you'll enjoy it and do the stuff that brings you joy. So, as I said, today is June 1st. It means first day of summer and first day of the month. And as traditionally, I want to welcome you, especially those who stumbled upon my channel first time. I'm gonna be talking majority, like 98% or 95%, about my like a cross stitch and the needlework, specialty stitches, all kinds of things that you do with the needle and thread pieces, and just a tiny bit maybe occasionally things happening in my life. So it's been couple days now since started school vacation, so my youngest now is enjoying that day away from home, celebrating with sleepovers with the friends. And like always, my dog is right next to me, my tail, my shadow. He is always there, and you might hear occasionally the noise of him running or something like that. So since I usually kind of celebrate like a Children's Day on 1st of June, and this is one of my like a three, minimum four pieces of my monthly I want to stitch on pieces. So this is a Spoiled Child, and I thought that was appropriate for this day, especially to start today. And by Astra patterns, and I fell in love with this painting, and I asked her to make a pattern, and she did, and I'm very happily stitching right now. So this is what you see right now up to this point. Of course, the top is rolled up, and I need to do just this month minimum this one. Usually I have what, about the 3700 stitches plus to do each month, but since I've been doing a little bit more, I might actually go and even be daring and start all the way there in the beginning, the next row, because I'm trying to do 2 rows a year as a minimum. But we'll see how fast this one goes, or I should put more stitches in other monthly pieces. We'll see. But I love it how it's all turning out. Their looks, just when you look at the eyes, it's like they're having this silent conversation. So this is where I'm gonna start. It's on was that 16th count, I believe, or 18th? I have it written down, 18 count Ada, and I mark with my heat pen that I'll iron later, like little areas to stitch to help me grid. And I guess I'll come back to you when this at least area done. So it might take me quite a few days. I usually give this piece about 5 days of stitching, so we'll see, because there's a lot of blends, of course, but there's also usually it's some confetti. And in this part, it's not going to be anything very joyous stitching. It's just a piece of furniture, so all dark colors will be continuing this way. So this is what I'm starting this month, this summer, and I guess I'll come back in a second with way more stitches put in than what you see. Woohoo! My row is done, and today is actually only third day, so it's not too dark yet out. So I think I'm gonna continue on the next row, but let's see what it looks like right now. So her the lady's head cover is all finished, and then we started the wood behind her shoulders and the shading that she gives on it, and there's all kinds of light colors, and then some blue started kicking in those dark, but I think that's what gives the whole picture this togetherness, I guess. So this is what compared to what I've had printed out, and I think it looks pretty good. So this is what end of the row looks, and I went a little bit below in some areas so I wouldn't have some threads hanging. And let's see what we're gonna have in the front of the next row. So let's see. You can see the top of what's that, like a glass or something right here standing next to the boy, and some kind of, was that a table or something? So we'll see what that looks, but again it's gonna be dark colors starting in here, and something in there, I don't know what is that gonna be, that, or maybe part of the chair, I would imagine, like because this is a chair that he's like halfway leaning, halfway sitting on, I would imagine. So that might be the top of the chair right here. So it's gonna be something in there. So again, I'm gonna take just a small, and I'm gonna start with the smallest amount, so there's gonna be a lot of single stitches thrown out, and that takes a while. Sometimes it takes a long time to reach when it's 10 stitches of the same color, but after that it's more and more fun to stitch because more space is getting filled out. But I'm so excited. I think I'm gonna stitch for the rest of it today, and possibly to another day, because I originally planned for 5 days on this piece, and today is only 3. So if I do finish tomorrow, whatever I can do is gonna be only 4 days, and that's gonna leave a little bit more time on something else. Somehow the boy's forehead, there's a skin here, shines way more by my lamp here, but it's not as bright as you see in here. But I love it. I love it. I think the more I stitch, the more I want to stitch on that, and I would imagine towards the end I'm just gonna be concentrating on that, like I did my lion from Heaven and Earth Design. So we'll see how that goes, but this is where I'm gonna continue on. So wish me luck to fill in a little bit more of this. So okay, this row is done. I love how you can see all the wood grains and the shading falling on this piece of what looks like a wood would be sticking out. It's like when you divide two pieces of furniture, and one sits on top of another, and something has a little lip. So this is what it looks like, and I've done part of the next row. Just couldn't stop, and in total I did just over 5,000 stitches, because a lot of this part was either 310 or blended 310 with some other dark colors. So that went pretty fast, and this is where I decided to stop. I thought 4 days is good enough time to stop and do. So the next one is going to be continuing here with like a shelf or something like that, and finish off the chair in here. So which I can show you if I can grab a paper. So this is what it looks like. You can kind of compare this part in here. And there's gonna be some darkness, and the boy's clothes gonna start showing up in there, and I can't wait to see him more showing up, and all those folds in here. That will be so cool to see. But that's gonna be starting in the next month in here, so we'll see how big of an area I can do. But I decided that is enough. And I then was thinking, what should I pick next? And I think I'm gonna go for another of my monthly pieces. Can you guess which one? Let's see. It's my Mirabilia Dressmaker's Daughter. So what you see in here, let me move this lamp, is what I'm ready to stitch on all the way on the bottoms. So there's gonna be like a stand, and it says all the seasons, like a spring, summer, fall, and winter. So I'm hoping to finish the whole bottom in 2 months. So I have to do again about what, 3,500 or something stitches. each month. So since this has the least, I think, amount of stitches, I'm gonna have to do this and that, and probably tiny bit in this one, so I might just finish off the hanging threads here so it wouldn't be showing up. So I think that's where I'm gonna be concentrating next. We'll see, I might squeeze in a new start tomorrow because today is the 5th, so it would be cool to start something on the 6/6. So yeah, this is where I'm starting. All the top portion is done, except there's a couple treasures that in one piece still needs to be found and bought and delivered to me. So anyway, I'm gonna start here, the frame of the dress form and all the other stuff. So I guess you'll see progress in about a second or so. Today is June 6th, and I've decided it's a great day to start something totally new, totally uh, different area that I've never worked in before. So this is by Abris Art, as you can see, and it's a blue gold. So I'm gonna take it out of the package and show you better. Hopefully it will be less a reflection from my window. And here it is. I hope it's better to see. So it's by company Abris Art, and it's Ukrainian company. I actually ordered this kit from Amazon this past within a year, I believe, maybe in 2022 or something like that. I can't remember exact date, but I'm pretty sure you can find it online, or I don't know if they can send it to you online. But I wanted to try out something with the micro beads and regular beads. So it's totally new area for me to work on, and I wanted to try this out, and let me see if I can take it out of the package. It says that the size is going to be 10.6 by 15.3, and it's 18 colors and many beads, 5,266 beads, and you stitch only that. So let's try to take it out. It's very interestingly kind of locked in, I guess, in here. It's my first time, like I said, to check this out. So it comes in package like this, and you can see the back. So it's written in several languages, in Russian, Ukrainian, and English. So here's the English side place. So it's produced in Kharkov. So this is what it comes looking like. So you can kind of see a peek of what it's gonna look. So I'm not gonna make a noise. I'm just gonna take it out behind the scenes and pop back in with you to show you what it looks like. Okay, so I'm back, and this is like a canvas, printed canvas on one side, fairly, as you can hear probably, it's pretty thick. And this is what we have. Unraveling, and ta-da-da-da. So let's see what they say. It's instructions on the natural art canvas, how to do it. It's all in English, and how to put the beads. I'll have to study all of that. And let's see what's on here. That's in Russian. We don't need that. So there's instructions in English fully. Then you have this canvas. So let's check this canvas out. I don't know if it's washable or not. I'll have to read it and let you know. Hopefully we'll learn together. So as you can see, it's kind of goes a gentle line all around it. I don't know if that's like a framing area. And then we have this print. I'm gonna try to show you more up close. So hopefully it's showing camera for you. So all those little dots is where all the beads will have to go in those areas, and in between spaces will be left untouched. So for example, here you see some spaces empty, so that's gonna stay empty as far as I understood. So it's kind of colorful in here, and I don't think we need to stitch in this area, so it's all around. So I have to watch out, and you see those tiny things here are micro beads gonna be. So you just follow the colors and Let's see, what does it say in here? Please do not crumple, squeeze, bend, scratch, or rub the canvas during embroidery. Ooh, that's gonna be hard to do. So it's showing that we can cut this up. It provides additional perimeter, so that we can cut and keep as a color guide, sort of. So that's going to be very interesting. Hopefully those lines not going to stay like this. And then on a separate piece of paper, little noise, so all of them are stapled to the paper and all numbered, so you can see which ones is which. But look at that choice of colors. Oh, so beautiful. Some are super shiny, some are more opaque. You can kind of see in my sunlight, this is like a reflective. Look at that, when the sun hits it slightly on this line from my blinds, this is what it looks like. Wow, I bet this is gonna look amazing. So some others, when you look at through the sun, those are like those tiny micro beads, maybe size was that 11 or more. These are just the interesting, very interesting color. I hope you can see it. So yeah, so those are all colors. So in the and there's also needle put in at the very last back, couple needles for the beading, and we have 17, 18 different colors in here. And now I'm probably gonna be trying to put this piece on the frame, and we'll see how that works out. I have to read instructions, and then I'll come back to you with this work ready to go. Okay, so I've put it on a frame, and I did not tighten too much the fabric because I was afraid to stretch it out more than it would be possible. I cut off the instructions of the color choices on the top, so I'll have to pay close attention, like a similar colors, which color it was circled around on the, like this is violet and this is violet 7 and 16, but one is with the white color and another one is with the yellow color, so I'm gonna have to find in there. I read the instructions, and there's two different ways to stitch, although some translations kind of interesting, funny. It translates like choose a passive part out and a baguette in accordance color scheme on the bottom here. So what they mean is, if I translate correctly, it's a passport and baguette in here in Russian, so it's just a mat board and the frame. That's what they mean by that at the very end. So I can do just like a regular stitching from A to B, or like this is like a sort of like a back stitching to do, and that's how you can go in a row. And we'll see how I can do it, and just need to secure first and last stitch, as they say, mostly, and anywhere where it's needed, but we'll see how that goes. So I'm ready to stitch, but OMG, I mean, when you look at all this mess in there to kind of figure out oval colors, like where, especially here, where is bead, where to leave it. So all of this will need to be figured out and then go with that color. So I might make mistakes, and I guess I'll share that with you too when I go along. And it's gonna be long project for me, so I'll have to make sure I'll be able to protect the surface. So at the end, I probably will gently iron, even though they say you can actually wash it, but we'll see. It says here on the side, only gentle hand wash in the temperature of 30% Celsius. Don't rub, don't wring, and don't use like a chlorine. So we'll see. I think 30 degrees is maybe like around 80 Fahrenheit. I would have to check, so it's some kind of warm water, but I don't know if I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna try to keep it as clean as possible. So that's what I'm gonna start. It's gonna take me a while to figure out where I want to start, and I did my frame in certain way, like the bottom extra thing I rolled up so I wouldn't scratch accidentally outside, and the top one I did over the top, so once the beads are in I can roll it and beads don't hit each other and crunch. So let's start. Oh my wish me luck, guys, because I've never done this before and I'm very eager to work on this, and I'll try to look as much as possible in the picture and figure out. I'll need my magnifiers definitely for this piece. So let's start on this day. So I'm getting closer to finishing my autumn part, and I want to show you guys, I don't know if you've ever played with the bugle beads. They're long ones, but here I'll show you what I mean. Is in the picture, can you see, like they're just strings kind of going on one at a time, but in instructions I think there was a mistake made, because there's no way in instructions, let's see if we can actually see, and for bugle beads it says autumn come up and string 4 bugle beads end to end and secure at the end of a waistline, and then you have to do couching over each bead. But it's kind of, I think, totally impossible, because when you see, like, it's just the one bugle bead. Here are the beads that I'm talking about, it's these ones. So to string 4 of them, they're gonna be super long, right? So it's supposed to be only one. And I want to show you how I do my beads. I kind of go by eye. I'm not following exactly how it is on the pattern, because it would be impossible to squish all of them and they would be just laying on top of each other. So the way I do, I always try to start from the dress part, and the width of a bead is about the width of 1x in here. So I come up and then I grab one bead, you see, on the string. I'm barely seeing what you're seeing, but I thought if you've done a different way and it was hard for you to do, so this is how I do. And it goes, and I then kind of look where it ends from a top to bottom, so you can kind of see, hopefully, where it's a top and a bottom, and I hold with my nail like how it would be, so I know also how it's gonna feel next to the next bead. And if I had it somewhere special in the corners, you're gonna see if they want to go like on a top, so I can always then put the needle back through it and pull off that bead, so it would not be very hard to fix it up. So I hold with my needle and I put the end, I mean hold with my nail and put the end of my needle about where the bead itself ends, and just pull it gently through it, and it's how it's gonna lay, just like that. So then I again go from the top, and then you can kind of see how well you want to lay it out. And I don't like to push them too hard together. Just leave a little bit space to kind of breathe. Again, grab one of the beads and position it itself, so you kind of see how you want to lay them. So like this, and like about that part where I put it in, and continue like that. So, and of course I keep it straightened out if I need to a little bit, but they don't get very crowded, and then I can figure out how to go. And especially in the corners gonna be a little bit tougher, and you'll have to figure out especially with the top portions, because you'll have to calculate enough distance so they won't be like climbing over each other. So that's all I wanted to show you, and I hope if you've never done bugle beads and were nervous about it, it's very easy to do. You might not have to follow exactly the same spots as the instructions were, but you can, I'm sure, figure out on your own. Same I did with these beads. There were quite few that I skipped, and that makes the beads, these ones, look a little bit nicer in a row, versus it would be very, very crowded and they would be very uneven in line. So I'll show you after this, once I'm finished, how the whole thing looks. So this is what it looks like, and where I'm gonna stop, because I did a little bit more than needed, and that was thanks to last few days. And overall I worked more days than I was wanted to play with this piece for this month, but I did not want to leave a bigger chunk after 2 months for next month. So very happy how it turned out. And so let's see. So spring, all of the wordings I did like a couching, so 2 threads I used as a main one, and sometimes I had to go in and come back again because there was no way to continue. And with one same color thread I was going and just attaching it, so there's not going to be any long loose strings and that, like this. So I'm very happy how it turned out. So lots of silk threads were used on the bottom ones, like for the leaves. Like in here, several colors were used, and the big giant pony beads are what like rollers for the stands of dress form. And this is what you see, and all spring is done, all summer done, and all is autumn done. So I showed you this recently, how I did this row of bugle beads. And I showed this piece to my daughter when I was finishing up in the beginning, and there's like little corners with the backstitch, a couple of beads in between each piece, and I asked if she wants to do that, like more defined edge, and she said no thank you. So I'm not doing that unless she changes her mind before I frame this. So yeah, and this is kind of weird looking, isn't it? Like S going that way. But 3 months are fully done. And I already started on winter, and the dress, it extends all the way down into the word area, so that's okay. So I think I don't remember exactly how much left, but I did just like 3,200 stitches in this month. So like I said, it took me way longer. It cut me into other plant pieces work, but that's okay. So I know in the month of July I'll be able to finish this unless I totally cannot stitch. So I'm very happy how it turned out. Lots of beading to be done, especially on this dress. There was a lot of beading, but here I had more cryonic to work with for the forms. But very happy how it turned out. So this one is gonna go set aside, and then I thought, what should I do? And I decided to pick something that I want to finish this month. And this is what I also were taking for the trip. So during the car ride I did some stitching, so mainly just the one color left to outline the whole frame and fit in between, so that should be going fairly easily. I already started in here, like filling in spaces and then going, so you can kind of see where the edge is gonna be. Lots of stitching, same color, and then it's gonna be all the other stuff. I'm still using the same that the thread sorted that it came with. I just was marking what I had on my saga and what was written in here, so in paper form. And I'm gonna be using crinkle same things that I've been using for other ornaments. All those ribbons that becomes from very thin, I have to stretch it out in the flat again. So that's what my plan is. And program shows that I have about 1700 crosses left, and that includes like a back stitching. But of course, when I attach ribbons, I use also invisible thread and secure it in many places so it does not move out of it. So we'll see how it goes. There's sure gonna be some beads too that I'm using from the kit, but this is what I'm gonna try work on, and we'll see how fast I can do. It's gonna be pretty busy week prepping for making a picnic and do all kinds of other things. So this is what I'm starting anyway in stitching, and I'll show you how it looks with stitched up. And after all this these days working on this, that's all I have done. So as you can see, the couching, all stitching done, the couching done with the lines, outline the heart. There's a French knots that I've done in here, and started with the cryonic here, and just a tiny bit left to do, and then all it would be left is to put those ribbons and the beads. But I think I'm gonna set it aside for the next part of June, although today is June 18th, but I'm filming it before start stitching anything, so I figured this would be the last part of first part of June. So that's what I've done, and I'm gonna set it aside because I've been working in this even tiny bit but for many days, and I would like to get a little bit rest. So at the end of this video I'm gonna put in a few little pictures and tiny videos of Pasaulio, how you say, World Lithuanian Center in Chicago, where I've been as a representative of and co-president of our Lithuanian American community of Greater St. Louis. And we had our annual sort of Midwest territory meeting where we had to give annual statements, and I had represented our statement and talked about some other things, and we had some pictures taken as a whole group, and I was having picture taking together with the whole group's president, Jurgita. And we had some music, we had some food, like a potato casserole, which we call kugelis. And overall it was interesting time. My husband was a trooper sitting there with me and supporting me, and it was rainy day, so we had a very long drive back home, and he was my driver too. And yesterday, the 17th, Saturday, we organized here locally sort of like a midsummer day picnic. First time ever done that. We call it Joninė, St. John's Day, and also we're spent few minutes honoring how you call it, a hope and mourning and a hope day, which was on the 14th, where thousands and thousands of Lithuanians were taken to Siberia, and it was very horrible times for them. So we spent a minute remembering all those, and I had my nails painted as a Lithuanian flag here, yellow, green, and red. So it was a perfect day to be out in the park. We were under shade. We had all kinds of foods, music. We sang some songs and played some games and made the flower wreath to put on a head. So I think overall a lot of people had a great time. We had a lot of kids showing up, which is amazing thing because you know, to keep up your culture and language, you need kids to be interested in that. So yesterday totally no stitching done, and so that was left from before that, but I'm not sorry. Like I said, it was our first public kind of event that we've done with my co-president Lina, and seems like it all went well, but preparations took a long time and make sure everything was thought of, and if you ever organized anything, you know how much work that goes into. So I thought I would stop with this piece and put it all together, little videos, and maybe I'll include a couple of pictures from our tables to see what kind of food we had. Some authentic dishes, like Lithuanian authentic dishes, and some typical American. So we try to kind of mix it in because we have a lot of mixed families. So I hope you enjoyed, and want to wish all of you that have Father's Day, and that they're being spoiled. My middle child is making something special, something with meringues, I guess, right now. So I can't wait to smell it and taste it too. And hope you get the chance to spend time with all those fathers. And let's see if day goes well, and for you and for me. And I guess I'll see you sometime next time with my video. And until then, I'm saying bye, Atem, till next time.